What is up, Steve here. Today I'm going to talk about a story that happened during the last real estate recession because I think it might provide you guys some insight as to really how messy the housing situation was back then and how potentially it could happen again present day in our current real estate market. Before I get into that, I got a quick question. So I got an enormous amount of response on a previous video I did, just trying to get to know you a little bit better, and I asked basically where you're from and what kind of occupation you have. But now I got a different question, if you wouldn't mind helping me out. So basically I want to know, do you have a side hustle? And if you do, what is it, if you wouldn't mind sharing it? And also, if you don't have a side hustle, have you been thinking about creating a side hustle to generate additional revenue for you and your family? And if so, what is that side hustle? Just curious about that, because I think if you do have a side hustle, it could help you tremendously in terms of growing your wealth. It's money that you didn't necessarily have, and if you're able to be smart with those funds and invest those funds, then you guys can do some big things in the future. And also, where I think the housing market is going to end up, we're going to see a lot of distressed assets. So I'm a big believer in having a side hustle because you guys can get ahead financially. So let's jump into this. So when the market crashed back then, my sister and I, we started our real estate firm in 2006. Probably one of the worst times to start up a real estate company. And we literally bought an office. We took debt for that office and everything else. And it was tough times. It was trying times. And what was happening is we had to pivot our business. We had to pivot, and we concentrated in basically four main areas. And also, if you're a real estate agent, I have courses on all these in the description below. But the first one were BPOs, broker price opinions. The second one was property management, basically leasing properties out for people. The third one was reaching out to asset managers for at banking institutions in order to get foreclosure listings. And the last one was short sales. So basically, you're helping somebody avoid a foreclosure by doing a short sale. So my sister, she primarily concentrated on our rental division. So we were going out, we were listing properties for lease and getting them leased out. But what was happening was we would get these properties under management terms with our organization. My sister would go out, she would get a tenant, and then that tenant would be in there for like 3 months, 6 months. And then all of a sudden, the tenant has somebody knocking on their door stating that the property got foreclosed on, or they were in the process of foreclosing on the property, or it was somebody who worked for the bank's asset management division coming out, inspecting the property to see if it was vacant or not. So we were running into this time and time again, and we got to a point where when we were sitting down with a landlord, we literally had an addendum written up stating that they agreed that they would stay current on their mortgage. And when we implemented that, about half of the people basically were like, we're delinquent. We're not paying our mortgage. So that is basically, it was kind of evolution of things, and that's kind of how we got into short sales as well, because these people were like, we're not paying and we want to collect income. And but the problem was it negatively affected the tenant. And basically, you're getting a tenant into their home for at least 12 months, and they're getting thrown out after being in there for 3 months, 6 months. And it just was not fair to the tenant. So we had to create that addendum to confirm that they were in fact current on their mortgage. They had every intention on paying their mortgage throughout the duration of that lease. And the people that were basically indecisive if they were going to still be able to pay their mortgage, because rent rates did come down in Southwest Florida here. And then we would take those people, and that's how we started getting into listing short sales, which is a whole other story. And we listed several hundred short sales in Southwest Florida here, and it was gratifying for sure to help people out in that time of need. But it was definitely sad. We're sitting around people's kitchen tables, and they're basically losing their homes during that time period. So as time progresses, what I want to do is reflect on my experiences, good and bad, and with the intent and the goal to just shed some light on that market, shed some light of how it was and the turmoil and everything else. And I believe right now, with everything going on, unfortunately, it's a lot of bad news. There's microeconomics as well as macro and worldwide. Like, there's so much turmoil going on right now that I know it's trickling into the housing market. We're already seeing it in Southwest Florida here, and I think that a lot of areas are going to feel the effects as well if you're not necessarily feeling it right now. And the big thing that I want to convey on this channel too is all these things are personal decisions that you're making, whether you're buying, selling, or investing in real estate. When's the right time? Not necessarily the right time. And I'm just giving my opinion on these things and trying to shed some of my past experience and also what I'm doing. I mean, I think I'm being very transparent with you guys in terms of what I'm personally doing. And all I want to do is make sure that you guys are listening to different people or reading different things and saying, oh, I'm going to take a little bit of that advice, take a little bit of that advice. And, I think that that's going to be well-rounded when you guys are making decisions, whether you're going to be selling properties or coming in and investing properties. And, right now, I still see some remarks where people are like, our market's extremely hot still and everything else. And I get it, but I believe that most markets are going to turn because, we've never seen property values go up as significantly as they have throughout this pandemic, and based on, artificially low interest rates and the Fed buying $40 billion worth of mortgage-backed securities every month. I mean, a lot of things that a lot of government intervention that really is just going to, let me rephrase. Has there been any time where the government has done something good when it comes to really any kind of programs where involved a lot of money? I don't see it. I see it being wasteful spending, and they overstimulated with everything. So we're in this position. The housing market's moving quickly though. And we're seeing it, and we personally are making offers out there. And even one right now, we have the ability to buy a house where the value of this house are pre-pandemic values. But I want it even less, and my offer's sitting out there. So I want it even less than basically what 2019 values are. And this person already is willing to go down to 2019 values. So things are happening, and if you guys are investors, make offers. If you guys are sick and tired just sitting on cash and you want to get active in the market, get out and look at real estate, go make offers, and it's got to be the right deal for you. And fortunately, it doesn't affect you if you are making low offers. You're going to get beaten up, and I'm going to do another video on this in terms of some real estate agents are giving bad advice to sellers, and because I think a lot of real estate agents don't understand what's going on either in the market. And I think if certain sellers are not doing price reductions right now, they're not going to get ahead of the curve, and unfortunately they're going to lose out on equity that they could have gotten out on properties. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching these videos. It means a lot to me. I think that I have some of the best subscribers out here. And also, let me know if you guys are interested in maybe even doing meet and greet with maybe some other YouTubers that are in this field as well. I'm developing some really good relationships with some good YouTubers that are talking about the similar content that I'm talking about as well. And we're thinking about maybe getting a group of us together here in Florida somewhere and maybe do a lunch for you guys if you guys have the ability to come and meet. If that's something of interest too, if you guys could comment below, let me know. And anyway, I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for being here.